Morning guys, Jason here with AppyMountainTrekkers. I want to welcome you guys back to the channel and thank you for your continued support, and I also want to welcome any new viewers to hit that subscribe button for future content. Now this video, I got into editing this one and I realized I just wasn't happy with it. There was like 10 minutes of me running my yapper up on the mountain about this and that, speculating, and I was just like, dude, come on. So I'm going to cut the crap as much as I can, and we'll get to that. I caught something on video that I thought was very unique, something you're not going to witness every day, but I went up there with a couple of buddies to investigate and see if I could figure out what that unusual sound was that I heard on my last video when I did the solo overnighter. But we'll get to that. So before we do that, I'm going to throw out some love to some other channels, and then I'm going to tell you 3 things about me, just so we can get to know each other. So number 1 is Back Outside with Nick and Rye. Nick and his daughter are planning a Appalachian trail hike. They're doing it in sections. I thought this was a killer idea. It's something I've always wanted to do, and he immediately caught my attention with that. And he's doing some great videos, and I'm stoked to see his future content. Definitely worth your time and effort. Channel number 2, Knight's Armory, my boy Jim in Florida. Again, Jim, very cool dude. He's got a forge at his house. He's also got a shop that he occasionally live streams from, where he makes knives, sheaths, Kydex leather. He's doing some really cool stuff, and I'm eventually wanting to get a custom knife from Jim. He's knocking it out of the park. He's made some killer looking stuff. Definitely go check him out. Channel number 3, Dare to Live, Kevin up in the Dakotas. I've been watching Dare to Live for a good bit, and his content's just getting better and better. And what I appreciate about Kevin and his channel is Kevin is very candid on camera. You can tell he's just being himself, and that goes a long way. Yeah, he's doing a little bit of everything as far as outdoor stuff, and he branches out and does some other things as well. But Kevin's one to watch. Very cool guy, and I'm looking forward to his stuff coming down the pike. Channel number 4. This is a new one that I recently caught on to, and that's Northeast Outdoors, which is Mike up in Maine. I'm just getting into his content, but I can already tell this dude's doing some really great editing, and I enjoy his approach to his videos. And again, he's touching on a lot of different subjects that deal with outdoors and stuff. Very cool guy, very supportive in the YouTube community, and he's definitely worth a look. So go check out these channels, throw them some love, and tell them I sent you. 3 things about me that you may not know. Number 1, I am a musician and have been since I was 13. I started playing guitar at 13, and I started playing in bands at about, probably around the same time. I wouldn't really call it a band. We were learning, but I started gigging with my first real band when I was 15. We were sneaking into the clubs underage and playing these bars, and I can rarely recall a time in my life where I haven't been writing, recording, and performing live with a band. I've had a few dry spells were in between, but it's pretty much been a staple of my life and a big part of it. And I'm in a band now called RevLow. We do like hard rock, metal, I guess you could say. And I'll post a link up for that if you want to check it out. But that's what I'm doing now, and these guys I'm jamming with now I've known for 25 years. And so we're tight. Those are my brothers. Moving along, number 2. I've been into this about as long as I have been music, and that's paintball. I started playing paintball about 13, 14, I guess. And I've kind of came and went with that over the years, you know, where I was into it for a few years. I'd play hard and heavy, and I'd give it a break for a little bit. But I've always come back to it, you know. And in 2010, I actually got back into it and ended up playing scenario ball with this team called Rebel Force Pirates, and which is it's one of the largest scenario paintball teams in the eastern United States. And I don't know how it happened, but in 2011 I became their captain, and currently I still am. We're going through a transition right now. I'm passing on the torch and letting some of these younger dudes take over and man the helm. It's got to a point where, you know, I can't be there all the time. You know, I got a lot of irons in the fire, and me being a father of 4 sons, 3 of which are, anytime I play, they're wanting to play. So, you know, anytime I go to an event, it about puts me in the poorhouse. So I figured it was time to ease back a little bit, you know, do some other things and let some other guys take charge. But it's something I'll come back to, and I'll stick around. I'll still play every now and then as long as I'm physically able. I'm getting old, but it's something I enjoy. And again, it's about that rush, that adrenaline feed, you know. It's a little bit different from the music and performing and all that stuff, but I kind of get that from that hobby as well. Third thing I wanted to touch on is what got me into bushcraft. And aside from being a hiker, camper for 27 years, one thing that kind of pushed me into the bushcraft thing a little farther was Civil War reenacting. And I know you're like, what's that got to do with that? And you know, I've always been a big Civil War history buff. I've got a library in my house of books. It's just something I've always been drawn to like a moth to flame. And eventually got into reenacting. I was in a Confederate and a Union reenactment group, so I portrayed both sides. But that living 19th century style on the weekends, you know, we do these battles, and living hard like that, you know, trying to pay homage to these guys that really lived it. You know, they didn't get to come home on the weekends. I mean, they were, you know, they carved their way out of the wilderness and, you know, marched from battle to battle, would make winter quarters and stuff, and, you know, they would, you know, use the tools that they had to make stuff out of the land, the trees, campaigning, you know, that stuff really, I was just like, you know, and that combined with the hiking and stuff. And when I discovered bushcraft, it was just a natural evolution for me, I guess. And I really started taking that on and getting interested in it in 2012. So, all that being said, that's 3 things about me you may not know, but you know now. And feel free to comment below, guys. Tell me something interesting that I may not know about you. And let's move along to what I was wanting to show you, which is something I captured up on the mountain that was very unique. And I went up there with a couple buddies, long story short. Went up there with them to investigate after my solo trip. I heard something in the middle of the night that I'll probably never hear again in my life, and I was just, I was curious to find out what that was, and I still don't know. I can speculate till the day I die, and I'll never know for sure, but After pouring through audio clips of everything that I could possibly imagine, you know, I suspect it was probably a mountain lion. That was the closest thing I could find. I'll never know for sure, but I went up there with these dudes to see if I could capture something, and I didn't get anything like that, but we were all surprised when I did catch this. So that being said, enjoy this clip. I appreciate you guys watching and tuning in, and I probably won't be posting anything for a little bit. I've got a big trip to the Smokies coming up this weekend, so I'm gonna be gone for a few days. But hopefully when I get back, I got some cool stuff to put up for you. And I'll take my leave. Enjoy this, and thanks for your continued support again. I appreciate it. And until next time, keep climbing that mountain. So my buddy Saul just showed up. Saul, he comes prepared, let me tell you.
Yeah, can't let anything happen to old Jay.
Nope. So it's after 10 o'clock. I'm here with Saul. We're waiting on Marty. We've heard multiple noises around camp, both on our east side and the south side of camp. Tree breaks, movement through the leaves. Yep. That's to the southeast. Up until this point, it's been very quiet. We've just been sitting around a fire, shooting a bull. Right in the middle of a conversation, we started hearing tree breaks. It's been pretty consistent since then. We've been hearing it every now and then, to our east, southeast, and south. Southeast. Holy fuck. Wow. Shit. Yeah, I know that was a tree falling, but holy shit, man. I'm puckered right now. That was a big one. Oh, shit. Damn, that was a big tree. Well, that was to our southeast. That still doesn't explain the noises we were hearing up east on the hill and south towards the creek. That was crazy. Well,
that's where it hit that tree right there.
we found the tree. that snapped and fell over here. All standing on it with the digging. You can see this tree was just absolutely rotted out in the middle.
One right there.
Yep. Termites probably helped this along. Yep, you can see the little pathways here, man.
We just happened to be here at the right time. Yeah, look at this webbing that was inside the middle of the tree.
There's all kinds of little critters having their way with this one.